A woman is more likely to hit on a man when she knows that he's taken, and that is actually wild to me. The moment I put a ring on my fiance's finger, I thought I was doing him a service. I thought by getting him a wedding ring before we were married that women would back off, but you guys, it's literally doing the opposite. The more women that see my man, my king, with a wedding ring on, the more they hit on him. If you saw my other video, we went out and a server hit on him. He gets free drinks all the time, even if I'm there, which, hey, I'm not complaining about. He had a FedEx girl say, make it up to me later, and he's literally wearing his ring. Like, I understand that women think that if a man is in a relationship that he is gonna be a provider, but yo, if they will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. You get them how you lose them. Like, it's crazy to me. The more men that I talk to, the more that they say, the moment a woman knows that he's taken or literally is wearing a ring, he gets hit on more. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, or if that's been your experience, because it's definitely been mine.
I keep saying, man, it really do be your own kind doing this to you.
If you're a man, I have a question for you. Do y'all realize when your girl is like pissed off or mad at you? Because I swear, sometimes I feel like guys are just so oblivious and stupid that they don't realize that someone is upset with you. Like, for obvious reasons too. I feel like us girls, we can pick up on certain emotions just by certain words that are used, tone of voice, body language. Like, we can just pick up on it. But I feel like men, you guys are just so stupid. You guys don't pick up on it. I swear you don't. I feel like unless a girl literally tells you, I am upset, like you are just like in La La Land, you know? Even when you clearly, like if you told any outside source or outside person from the scenario, they would agree that you fuck. So my question for the men is, do you realize when someone's mad at you, or are you just stupid and oblivious and ignorant to the fact that someone is upset with you? And you know.
Say goodbye to feminism. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. I mean, excuse the singing, but seriously, feminism is trending downward. The support for the feminist movement is lessening year by year by significant leaps and bounds. Independent studies showed that in 2016, 63% of Americans identified as feminist. And then in September of 2022, AmericanResearchCenter.org released a study, and part of that study was on feminism. And it showed that in 2020, 51% of Americans said the label of feminist fit them very well or described them somewhat well. But they redid the same study again in 2023, and only 35% of Americans said that the label feminist fit them well or somewhat fit them well. So that means in just 3 years, the support of feminism dropped 16%. And if you go back to that 2016 study, it dropped from 63 to 35% in only 7 years. Support of the feminist movement is going down and down and down. And maybe one day, the voices for true equality that support all men and women will rise up and become a society where there is not this gender divide.
I hate when you a pretty girl, know you got a nigga, but they'll text you what you want. I'm on my man, on my inbox.
Is this a deal breaker for you? Yesterday, I was having a little dinner and there's a cute couple next to me. They were like talking, laughing the whole time. It did not seem like a first date. There was like a ton of chemistry. I was like, wow, I love love. What a cute couple. I finished my meal and pay, and now I called my car and I'm waiting inside kind of by the hostess stand because it's raining out a little bit. And I see the couple again and I hear the guy go, oh, I'm gonna run to the restroom, do you mind waiting? And she says, yeah, sure, no problem. He comes back, he says, I would love to see you again. I had a really nice time. She says, I would love to see you again too. I can't believe so-and-so set us up. I'm over here giddy for them, they're cute. And then he goes, oh, how are you getting home? And she says, oh, I think I'll probably call an Uber. What about you? And he says, yeah, I've already called my Uber. Then he looks out on his phone and goes, it's like a minute out. She says, she's like stumbling a bit. She's like, oh, I guess I'll call mine now too. Like takes her phone out, calls the Uber, and he's still saying how much he really enjoyed getting to know her. And then he's like, oh, well, my car's here. I still had like 2 minutes left in my ride. His car arrives, he gives her a hug goodbye, says he would really love to see her again, and then leaves her. And she was still waiting when I got in my Uber. I was like, I cannot believe this man called his car without telling her and then actually had the audacity to just leave her. Like, why wouldn't you just wait? Why not call your Uber when she knows when hers is arriving, right? Like, you're going home either way, so if she says, oh, mine's 2 minutes away, then you call your Uber. I'm very curious if she's gonna see him again.
The guy in the comments said I could understand being bothered by that, but a deal breaker is a bit much. If everything else is good, definitely something you could talk about. I agree with that. I think I can see it from both sides. A man waiting just to make sure that you feel safe, but then also with the current climate of dating, people have said, I don't know if I really feel comfortable with somebody kind of hanging around. So, you don't have to sit here and wait on me. You can just go ahead and go home. And a woman in the comments kind of said something along these lines. She said she was in a public place. She's a whole grown person. She was fine to wait a few minutes. Dating is hard. Why make problems where there are none? Kind of agree with that too. So deal breakers, people saying the bar is in hell. I see where you're coming from, but I don't know if this is existential.
Yo mama got short hair. How dare you tell a black woman that she shouldn't wear her short natural hair? So if you want Becky with the good hair, Becky with the long hair, go get her. Hi, hairstylist here of 20 plus years. Let's talk about it. A lot of y'all got short hair, natural hair, and y'all refuse to wear it. That's why y'all was standing in that lineup with head full of weave. A lot of y'all will get in my chair and other hairstylist chairs and y'all refuse to leave without the new weave put back in. Because girl, I can't go outside with my hair like this. Like what? You can't go outside with your hair in its natural state? A lot of y'all have never taken care of y'all's hair. And so now y'all got bald spots and your hair is short up to here. Nothing wrong with that, but you don't like it. That's why a lot of black women, not all, but some, wear weave. It's not because it's easy. It's not because it's low maintenance. That is a benefit, but a lot of y'all are hiding behind the weave. So really, I believe, could be wrong, but I believe a lot of y'all were offended by his comment because he was calling some of y'all out. The short hair that she was bold and proud of, y'all would never. So how dare you tell her she can't wear her short hair? But you don't. Why don't y'all wear y'all short hair? Why don't y'all wear y'all's natural curly hair? Why don't y'all wear y'all's blowouts? Because you don't feel sexy in it. You don't like it. You don't like your hair how it grows out of your scalp, but you want black men to. Make it make sense.
My best friend stole my fiance and my December wedding plans and then got mad at me when I uninvited her to my birthday party. The relationship I used to have with my bestie I thought was healthy. We supported each other in everything we did. We paid for each other every chance we could. If we went to a restaurant, she would pick up the bill, and then I would pick up the bill the next time. We would share all of our clothes, and she would literally buy me makeup randomly and just surprise me with it. I would buy her perfume randomly because that's what she loves. This woman would even come to my mom's house. She would cook for my mom and have sleepovers with her. They would watch movies, and I was happy about that. But of course, everything changed when a man came into the picture. When I introduced her to my new guy, she would change her posture. She would change the way she spoke. She was always trying to look pretty around him. She even asked me once, does my makeup look okay for him? I was like, what do you mean? She said, I just need to make a good impression on your man. This got worse until one day, she got tipsy and sat on my boyfriend's lap.
3 signs she's cheating but hiding it well. If she suddenly starts guarding her phone or being on Do Not Disturb when she's with you, that's one. She's picking fights over nothing or acting cold out of nowhere, she might be mentally checked out. If she suddenly says that she needs space, 9 times out of 10, there is another guy in the picture.
What age do men get tired of playing video games?
It all depends on the man. A lot of women out there look at video games as a childish thing. But to answer the question, there's no specific age that men get tired of it. And your tone suggests that this is not a random, curious question, as you said at the end of the video. And with that being the case, there are some factors to consider as to whether or not you should look at this really as a problem. First, a lot of men play video games just to unwind. Now, as long as responsibilities aren't being neglected and you're not losing, valuable time that you need and want with him, then that shouldn't be a problem. Now, it's cool not to be into video games like that, but it should not be viewed as inherently a childish, juvenile thing unless it starts negatively affecting other areas of your relationship and of your life, and his life too. Or maybe just join him one day, see what the fuss is about.
Woman in the comments said, totally agree. I started playing video games with my son at his urging. It's been really fun and bonding. I don't know why that's such a hard concept. Men if they have daughters, they be having to sit in there and do tea parties. They be having to sit, oh, let me do your makeup, daddy. And people think it's cute. Oh, let me do your daddy-daughter dates. They think that's fun. But when a young man says, hey, why don't you come in here and play the video game? Oh, let's go do something else. I don't want to do that. Oh, so we have to do everything on a woman's terms. Everything that a woman wants to do. We have to pick an activity that she likes instead of just getting involved and coming into the world of a man. But why do that when you could just have a man come to your world?
I know a lot of things about a lot of things. I'm going to say something that like a lot of you probably will not agree with now, but this is a fact. Men play games with the girl that they truly want. Hear me out. If he takes ages to reply, he's doing that on purpose. Saying certain things to make you think certain things. When they are different around you, this is the girl that they really want. And a lot of you get disheartened, like, oh, you didn't message back for 10 hours. No, because he's playing the game. I know you're not going to agree with this, but this is my opinion. Men only do that with the girl that they, like, truly want and truly like. If they don't, if it's just meh, they don't go to them lengths. It's just like, okay, I don't need to play the game with her. I don't need to keep it cool with her. I don't need to watch what I say around her. I don't need to put little hints in there. I don't need to try and, send this picture, see if it winds her up. They don't do all of that for the girl that they don't really, care about. It's just, they're just messaging them to mess around. If he does them things, seriously, you're going to think I'm crazy, but if he does them things with you, the chances are that he really, 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 really likes you.
Somebody said the woman who has never been married thinks that she knows men. Another person says boys play games, men don't. That was a woman who said that, actually. I mean, I don't know where you actually got this from, but it's wrong.
Men are tired of being reduced down to what they can provide and being reduced down to just a paycheck. Men are tired of being told that they're worthless just for breathing. Men make sure their wives are good, that their kids are good, that they're providing, that the bills are paid with little to nothing in return. And if he has to talk about something, he often keeps it bottled up inside because he's told constantly to just eat it. And if he gets the courage to speak up, then he's going to be looked at as a weaker man, or it's going to be used against him. Men are tired of having to be the strong one when they still need someone to lean on. His family, his friends, his jobs, his kids. And if one area is thriving, then that means another area is suffering. But he's told to suck it up and just be a man. And sometimes if he falls short, he'll end up divorced and he'll lose everything he's worked so hard for. His kids, his marriage, his wife, and his purpose. Men are constantly being told that they aren't allowed to have feelings and emotions, and that they're only meant to fix problems and find solutions, and that his problems aren't real problems and he needs to just deal with it. Men are constantly fighting an internal battle of what to do and what not to do based on false allegations or things that bad men have done that they're now being judged for. Men are tired of feeling like everything they do is never going to be enough and it's never good enough. And even when he's going through all this internal struggle, if you ask him how he's doing, he'll say, just fine. Okay, bye.
The reason why a lot of us guys are done with dating is because we're all honestly fed up with all the mixed answers that we've been seeing online. Like women are saying online, why don't guys approach in public more? Or why is this guy approaching me? I don't want anybody talking to me anywhere in public. So a lot of us have reached a point that we're just we're just done. And believe me, we don't want to. We would love to approach a woman without her feeling like we're creeps or something. And don't get me wrong either. There's a lot of guys that don't know how to approach women, or they make it seem very creepy, or they start stalking you and following you randomly. Guys like that put out a bad name for the good men. But for the good men with good intentions, it does make it extremely challenging. But I do wish that women can see how difficult it is for us men to cold approach, because that shit is not easy.
Millennial and Gen Z men, men in our age groups, they're twice as likely as women to say that they're not dating, they're not having sex, they're not even trying to, because they feel like nobody would want to. Which is crazy that they're so self-aware to know that. no. But like in all seriousness, like I think there's a real challenge with young men, and I think it's like it might not even be about them. Like it might not even be about the woman in their life. It's like the same thing where I'm sure you've had experiences like yourself as well. You're feeling so about yourself, then how are you supposed to like give love to other people? Or when you're thinking like, oh well, why bother investing in like even buying somebody something nice for a first date, because it always goes. I was really shocked when I read that, because I was like, maybe there's something like deeper happening. I don't know.
Look, you can't treat future partners based off past experience. That's not fair to the future people. And like we've all had bad relationships. We've all been, sewered in the past. We've all had bad things happen to us in relationships and in love. You cannot carry that forward. I think that's part of the breakup, where when you break up after a breakup or a relationship, you need to heal. Because if you bring that trauma forward, you're not doing anybody like anything good. I've done it. I've done that in the past where I've brought in previous relationships into current ones, and I've hurt people. And it's like, I'm not saying these people I hurt were innocent by any means, but did they deserve what I did to them? Absolutely not. And I did it to them just because I was carrying previous pain forward.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, after a breakup, take time to heal.
You don't have to bring the previous relationship into the next one, but you can move smarter. If a woman runs into a Chad or a Tyrone or an F-boy, then we're expecting that woman to do what? Make better choices. You need to figure out what it is or what it was about that man. So next time you can say, I'm going to avoid this. That's what these men are saying. I've seen this woman. I'm going to avoid that next time. Some of these guys, just done. I think that, I'm just going to do my thing and I'm going to build. And if something comes, then great. If not, I'm just going to keep on grinding and get money.
As a female, honestly, I could see why dudes be hating us or getting mad. I went on a date last night. He was very nice. Picked me up, took me to dinner, and I made sure we had the best time of our life. I was nice. Like, he would have never been able to think that in my head, I'm just thinking about how this man has never seen me again.
Radical red pill. They can push fear-based narratives like marriage is a trap. Women don't actually love you. If you get married, you're going to lose everything. And then it's backed up, right, by video and anecdotal evidence and real things that are happening in the court system. It can isolate men from relationships and make them more dependent on the group. I'm not saying that some of this wild stuff is never happening. The stuff that men are afraid of is happening. I am also saying that only being in that reinforcement loop of this is what always happens, this is what you can absolutely expect to happen, when it gets extreme and it gets very narrow-minded and when it creates an us versus them mentality, you're now in an unhealthy space. It's one thing to guard your heart. It's one thing to have discernment. It's one thing to have boundaries. It's one thing to be aware. I think that's really important. If I have a son, I want him to be very aware of what's going on. I don't want him to be afraid. Fine lines between these two things. We definitely don't want to deny that there really are court systems across the country that favor wives. That's a reality. That's true. That's a fact. That's not perception. We're not going to ignore that or deny that. What we are going to do is do what we can control in mitigating the risk by things like, well, do you know how to vet a woman? Do we know how to develop yourself and do an individual where your self-esteem wouldn't even allow you to be in a situation like that? Things like that. We don't need to deny reality. We need to work with it and then do what we can to change our realities, like in our own world.
Dude in the comments said, I wouldn't call a 40 to 50% divorce rate nothing, with 90% of them, college educated by the way, initiated by women because of issues they often cause. So that statistic there is well known. 70% of the time women are initiating divorce, and then 80-90% of the time, more so if they're college educated, right? I understand what you're saying, but I think a lot of men now are looking at it once again as risk management, and they don't want to continue to take the risk. If you're putting out $1 million and it's a 40 to 50, or I should say at this point, 50 to 60% chance that you're going to lose your investment, then a lot of people, women included, are not taking that chance. Okay? Like, not, especially if you've been working to build something for 15, 20 years, and then all of a sudden it's gone. just like that, how do you expect a man to just be like, yeah, well, I'm gonna do that, yeah, for sure?
I don't know what is going on, but why the man them not interested in dating? The man them not interested in asking you out. The man them not interested in getting to know you, take you out. The man them not have no interest in that. The man them just want to message you when darkness come, try and forget between your foot. That's it. That's it, you know. They're not even interested in like impressing you anymore. They're not chasing. They just want some nanny. That's it. Like, I don't know. And you're supposed to just be like, okay, take it. And listen, it doesn't even cost to get to know somebody. It doesn't even cost to take out somebody. And on Sunday evening, could I go watch the sunset and drink some coconut water? Man, they're not interested. Miss me with that.
So I have a question for men that are using online dating apps. Like, if you like somebody and they match with you, do you talk to them? Because I have like 10, 15 dudes just hanging out that I've matched with, but they haven't said anything to me. Like, I don't get it. If I matched with someone that I liked first, it's so I can talk to them and it's exciting and I message them. But men don't seem to do that. So what's the deal? Like, why?
It's honestly because men get tired of carrying the conversation. That man probably wrote several other women questions and gave them compliments, and all he received in response was one word. Men are trying. It's just that 95% of women that they match with, they either unmatch or they never respond, or they just give the one-worded answers. Or they're scammers. So yeah, men are just tired, ladies. They're tired of it.
Honestly, men today they don't want to play the game. They don't want to pretend to be someone they're not in order to attract more women, right? And honestly, they don't even have to. But they also can't just sit on the couch waiting for girls to just like appear. You want to know the secret to attracting women? It's no games. It's no tactics. It's 3 simple rules. Developing a strong sense of self, right? So your authenticity and detachment from needing a girl for your own validation is the biggest attraction trigger a guy can have. 2 is owning it. Right? So owning that sense of self, like setting healthy boundaries, even if that means the girl's not into it, that girl wasn't right for you to begin with. And the third one, to be honest with you, is the most important, and this is what a lot of guys overlook or people overlook, is patience. Patience, understanding that most relationships don't work out. No matter what dating coaches tell you, you'll never be able to attract every girl that you see. It's a lie. And you shouldn't want to anyway. It doesn't work like that. Not all girls are the same. Finding a girl that's worth your time does take time. And if you need guidance and accountability during that attraction trigger, this is where dating coaches come into play.
Do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it. If I want to play games, I got a PlayStation. Has there ever been a bigger truth? Like, I will be honest, I have had to deal with girls that, you know, like, oh, well, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't mean that. Okay. Oh. Well, now I do. Okay, yeah, I understand. All right, yeah, I gotta go. The whole chase after me was so old. There were girls that did that, and it was kind of a game, and there was like a certain level of like chivalry to it. Sure, and it was okay. But the problem is that now there's also the no means no. Cultures all around the world have totally different expectations on relationships, and some of them have like weird expectation. And it's like the guys have to pursue the girl even whenever the girl doesn't like them or something like that. Not that it doesn't like them, but like the girl is taught never say yes on a first date. Like, I know girls that have been taught this by their actual parents, right? Oh, don't say yes whenever a guy asks you out the first time because then he'll think you're easy. But yeah, I don't like that at all. I think that's weird.
They keep on doing weird stuff, bro. I mean, they like to come out on a Friday night and play games, but a man can be inside chilling and enjoying his peace. What's wrong with you guys?
The reason that a lot of guys don't come up to women is because they're tired of the game. Because they know that you're just looking for attention. They know that you just want them to come up so you can then go, hi, oh, ew, right? You know it.
You want them to come up, make you feel good, make you feel hot. Ooh, I look good tonight. Oh my God, CDC like totally wanted me. I don't like him, but ooh, whatever. They're tired of that, right? And sometimes you'll even coerce it, right? You'll look at them, kind of like coax them over. You're not into them, but you're coaxing because you want the attention.
Men are tired with the games. The loneliness epidemic is a culmination of men who've given up on dating due to women not reciprocating any effort. These men got tired of being exploited for attention, free meals, gifts, trips, and affection. When you live in a society that tells you as a man you have to be the one to love first in order to receive any love at all, and you look around and see every living thing being an exception to that rule, you're going to feel alone. Especially when dating consists of you giving 100% of your effort in hopes of receiving a fraction of theirs somewhere down the line. Until you meet someone who actually cares about you, you're stuck paying for meals, giving gifts, making the first move over and over again. Men want one simple thing, and they've been screaming it from the hilltop since the beginning of time. They just want to be loved.
I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from women who are dating men who play video games, but I just got to get this off my chest. So you know how like men will say that they need to come home and then just like turn their brain off, and video games does that for them? I'm talking like healthy, you know, like you're still an adult, but this is your downtime. Well, let me just say, ladies, you're missing out. So I've been watching him play this Xbox game, and it got me like really intrigued. So he got a new Xbox. I got his old Xbox. I'm like, hey, can you show me how to play this game? I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse, because on Saturday I played that game for like almost 6 hours. My eyes were like, and every time I come home, I just want to play it. So when the kids are in bed and the kitchen's clean, I like run to the bedroom so I can play. And then sometimes he plays, and then we talk to each other in a party. But it's awesome. You should try it.
Girl, don't ever feel bad for a man, okay? Men already know when they don't like you, and they'll use you anyway. They'll use you for your body, your time, your attention, your energy. They'll even use you to help build up their own lives, their own empires, and then they'll discard you when they don't need you anymore. So all you fools crying and screaming over here over the fact that accusing me of using men, I'm transactional because I ask for nice things, you gotta wake up, honey. They're already using you. It's time to open your eyes and grow up, please.
You said a mouthful there. It's time to open your eyes and grow up. That's probably something that you need to be doing.
Why is it always, why are you single? You're such a catch, and not, oh look, this is the perfect person for you. Let me set you guys up. You guys would be absolutely amazing together. If I'm such a catch, Susan, why haven't I been caught yet?
Whenever I make a video about my divorce or my marriage failing, I always have that in my comments saying things like, well, what's your responsibility here? You know, what's your accountability for your divorce? Why is it only his fault? What did you do wrong? And I know exactly what it is I did wrong. I talked too much. And that was wrong because my husband doesn't want to talk to me, and honestly never really did. Like, he wouldn't mind having casual conversation, you know, about like light topics. But even those casual conversations could go on too long. And the problem here is that I'm a talker. I like talking. And I especially like talking when there are issues, because I am the type of person that thinks that if we talk things out, we can work it out. Any problem can be solved if two adults come together and just talk it out, share their feelings, their thoughts, their opinions, their suggestions. We can make it work. But my husband did not want that. He did not want to have conversations with me. He did not want to talk anything out. One of two things needed to happen. Either if I had an issue or a problem with something, his expectation was I should just solve it, especially when it had to do with our household, our kids. The thought was that I should just work that out. Why bring it to him? And then the other part about our marriage, you know, he never believed that talking brought us closer. He said to me, that's not what brings me closer to you. At the time, I didn't understand what he meant. But what he meant was, I'm not interested in talking to you. The interesting thing about it is that when we were dating, we talked all the time. And we actually had serious, in-depth, meaningful talks about ourselves and our lives. very intimate. But somehow when we got married, it all changed, and I don't really know why. Why was it safe for him? Or why was he interested in talking to me when we were dating? And then once we were married, it was like he had no interest in conversating with me, sharing anything with me, or hearing anything I had to say.
That's it. That's it. That's what you got. And these women, man. Some of these women, man, what have you done wrong? I mean, just be honest and upfront about what you did. You've been sitting up here bashing this man, talking about what he's doing wrong, how he's terrible. Y'all can come up with all these things for why he's such a terrible man. What did you do in the relationship? Oh, I just tried to I just talked too much. And he didn't really want to have a conversation with me. I just wanted to make a connection. I just wanted to make a connection. It was just my way of reaching out, just wanting to connect with the love of my life and just build an intimacy that was so deep and just so emotionally fulfilling, and just it tore down and broke down and destroyed every single wall within me, that it's just so powerful. And he just wouldn't even give me that. I was just starving for love. And can you be quiet? Can you be quiet until you can take responsibility and accountability for the things that you did in the relationship? And just be quiet. Stay off TikTok.
What happened to Wizard Liz is literally what can happen when you over-idealize rich men. As someone who grew up around rich men, that was my mother calling me to dinner through an intercom system in my childhood home. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Men like Landon, and that come from wealth. Either they grew up with it, they earned it themselves, especially if they're white, especially if they're attractive too. These men are like Satan. I'm just kidding. But seriously, you need to beware, because these men get off on power. They understand power dynamics very well. They understand how to manipulate people because they likely have been faced with situations themselves, or their fathers have been, that they've been told, about. They will compromise compassion and empathy in order to make money, in order to get an outcome that serves and benefits them. Just because you are married to him, just because you are the mother of his children, does not make you an exception to this kind of situation. These men understand that women are very attracted to this lifestyle. They will dangle it like a carrot over your head so that you lower your standards and they can abuse you. I'm so fat ash. So you'll put up with it because you want the lifestyle, right? And then when it comes down to it, you want to leave. Guess what? Now you have no money. And guess what? He has all the money. He has access to the best lawyers. He has a whole network of all of his rich friends that are going to help him literally abuse you financially, drain you financially through the legal system. You don't think that these men's wives are going to help you. No. They'll be loyal to their men because these men have their lives on a leash too. I know that when you meet these rich men, you kind of start fantasizing this soft girl lifestyle that you're going to be living. And I'm telling you, okay, you cannot think of it like that. Unless you are coming from a family that has money, you have money yourself, from a business that you've earned or a job that you have, whatever, or you have a really amazing prenup in place, you have no business dealing with men like that. I'm so dead ass, because a man that comes from a rich family that is a good person, he's going to want someone, honestly, that comes from the same socioeconomic class. I'm really, most of the time, his family is not going to like the fact that he's getting with someone who comes from such a different kind of background, because people that have money are very protective of their stuff. So men that are actively seeking out women that are disadvantaged financially, they want the power dynamic there. These are abusive men. I'm just putting it out there bluntly, because a lot of y'all need to be hit upside the head. I'm so fat ass.
Why is this something that we have to say, though? Why is this something that has to be a cautionary tale? Guess who's been telling you that there are men out there that can act like that? Men telling you that. But y'all keep on listening to Shira 7. Y'all keep on listening to all these other dating coaches talking about, oh man, just look for him if he has this, get him if he has that. You ain't gonna settle for nothing less. If you do this, then you're settling. Yada, yada, yada. And now we have a woman who talked all that trash. She talked a lot of it. She kept on going. Hey, maybe you should calm down. Maybe you should slow down. Hey, maybe you should ask these questions or do this. I understand speaking confidently, but with that confidence needs to come some due diligence. With that confidence, with that boldness needs to come some fact finding, some research. Daddy, I got this man, nice young man. I like him. He's attractive to me. What you think about him? Grandpa, pastor. You have a counselor in your life that's a male? Why don't you ask him about him? Little brother, big brother, cousin, nephew. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Give me the 411. Give me the down low on this man. What's up? Don't hear none of that. What you hear is you're not in your divine feminine. So that's why you're not attracting them. You're not putting on the right type of makeup. You're not following the stars and the celebrities. You're not getting in touch with your crystals and the stars, and you're not floating around in space at night for long enough. Your dreams ain't magnetic enough. You ain't doing hoodoo and voodoo and all this other nonsense in order to get him. That's why you're not manifesting the right way. Buy my course and I'll teach you 12 simple steps on how to manifest your man. Like me, like I did. And then this happens to you because you was out there floating in space when you should have been down here on Earth at the coffee table trying to figure out what this man was about.
Not everyone needs to go for a baddie, okay? You guys can't handle it. Go for a saddie. We're funny, okay? We can take care of you too.
Okay, this is for all my single girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men now? Because the Hinge pool has a lot of pee in it. So I'm certainly not finding anyone there. I'm not on Bumble or Tinder, and I don't plan to be. I go to the bars sometimes, but the quality of men there, typically not the best from what I've experienced, but I'm not opposed to it. I go to the grocery store with my hair on top of my head. No makeup, baggy clothes. So I don't think anybody's dying to give me their number when they see me there, okay? So, if you've got any ideas, toss them my way, because I'm 30 and beginning to think that this whole dying alone thing isn't gonna be like a running joke. It's gonna be reality. So yeah, let me know.
Get ready with us while I tell a story about when one of my best friends tried to steal my husband. So the other night I had my friends over, Mary was there, and we were all just like playing games, sitting on the couch, and then one of my friends, we'll call her Jennifer, she was just a little bit off the entire time. Yeah, she wasn't really talking to us, and she was like sitting with the boys when all the girls were hanging out, which we thought was really weird. Yeah, and then a couple things happened that night that just rubbed me the wrong way. But the first thing that happened was we were all sitting on the couch, and my husband's sitting like towards the arm of the couch, and Jennifer just starts complaining about her spot and basically demanded to be sitting next to my husband. And all of us girls were like sitting on the other side of the living room, so it made no sense for her to be like demanding to sit over there because we were all talking over here while the boys were like hanging out. A funny thing about my friend Jennifer though is that we used to be a lot closer back in the day, but recently, I don't know, she doesn't live as close as she used to, and so we just haven't been seeing each other much, so it was just weird. So here's where it gets really crazy, because Say didn't see this happening when it happened. She like went up to go to the bathroom, but I saw Jennifer go sit over next to her husband and then start whispering something in his ear, like while everybody was hanging out. And my husband doesn't entertain this stuff, so like Mary she knows. Yeah, he was not, but she was definitely very close to him. And so Mary pulls me aside and she tells me all this stuff that happens after I get out of the bathroom. And basically we both walk out together only to find that Jennifer is like doing that stupid pygmy thing where she's like, oh, can I look at her hands? Oh. So fast forward to later in the night, everybody's like kind of drunk, and Jennifer's drunk. Yeah, she was really, really drunk. And we're all like, okay, bathroom break, all the girls go to the bathroom. And she starts crying. And so obviously, since I'm not trying to like read into anything too quickly, I go and I ask her, Jennifer, like, what's wrong? And she doesn't tell me anything. But then Jennifer texts me while we're all in the room hanging out together, and she says, I can't do this anymore. And I text her back and I'm like, what do you mean you can't do this anymore? Like, while just hanging out. And she was like, I can't stand being in a room with Say and her husband because I'm in love with him. Okay, but then this part really made me the most angry is she's back on the couch, she's drunk, and she basically just starts trying to sit like as close as she can to my husband, and I'm like just like subtly trying to, sit on my husband's lap, trying to, mark my territory, saying, hey, like, back off. And then I decided to get up in front of everybody and say, hey, and show everybody the text and say, Jennifer's in love with Say's husband. And everybody was super awkward and nobody really said anything. We ended up all leaving, and needless to say, we don't talk to Jennifer anymore.
My best friend tried to steal my husband, but my husband was too loyal. Got him. So we, 37 female and 39 male, have been together for 15 years, married for 12, and have 4 kids together. We've always had a wonderful, loving relationship and have both been amazing partners to each other. My mom is not doing well health-wise. I flew out to her with our youngest on Friday morning and will be flying back tomorrow night. A few hours ago, my best friend called me crying and said that she got into a major fight with her husband after she found out he cheated and asked if she could come over. She had forgotten that I wasn't in town, and I talked to her for a little while and tried to calm her down. I also called my husband explaining the situation and asked if it was okay for my best friend to spend the night in our guest room. He was fine with it. I took our iPad with me to keep our youngest entertained while at my parents' place. It's logged into my husband's Apple ID email, so his messages and calls should show up on it. When I went to put it into charge, I saw tens of messages from my best friend to my husband. I found it strange since they were supposed to be under the same roof, and I knew it was wrong to snoop, but I ended up reading the messages anyways. Long story short, something happened between them. My husband kicked her out, and my best friend wants to keep whatever it is a secret, but my husband says that I deserve to know. I don't know what to do or think now. I have no one I can talk to about this. What am I supposed to do now? We have relevant comments. We have an update. Thank God. The Boss 6200 says, at least he wants to tell you about it. You should call him and ask him what it is that you deserve to know. It might just be that she made a move on him and he got mad and kicked her out, but contact him now. Grimwall says, same. She's just been cheated on and she likely wanted revenge. Yeah. But in her distress, she picked up the nearest man to her, just made more of a mess of her life. Completely valid reason to cut her out. Also, if OP values the friendship, she has room to be understanding without looking foolish since her husband is loyal. She 100% owes him a huge 5. I would personally understand and forgive, but keep her at arm's length for years, if not forever. Just because I understand doesn't mean I give you access to my personal life again. About the husband. Yes, loyalty is expected and mandatory. No, that doesn't mean most people won't take low-hanging fruit if offered. He isn't like most. That itself deserves acknowledgement, and since you saw it in practice before your eyes. Having verifiable proof your partner won't play you, even if they reasonably could get away with it, is worthy of celebration. Not necessarily because he deserves a treat, but because you now know you are truly safe with your back turned. If he kissed her or something, then he can go and get F'd though. The updates. Next day. You guys are right. I wanted to have this conversation face to face, and I waited till I got back a few hours ago. We talked after we had dinner and all the kids had went to bed. After my now former friend showered and freshened up, my husband gave her leftovers from dinner and they talked about her husband and the situation with her husband. And out of nowhere, she tried to sit on his lap and tried kissing him. And my husband pushed her off and she tried again and he told her that she had to leave. My husband admitted that he was tempted to call me late last night, but didn't want to add more to my plate while I was with my mom because remember, Opie's mom is in the hospital. And he wanted to physically be there with me when he told me. I have talked to her since and she is back at her place and her husband is not there. She's been very apologetic and is saying that she wasn't in the right headspace and made a mistake trying something with my husband and is begging me not to break apart our friendship. To be honest, I feel bad for her, but she knows how much I love my husband and my family and she is willing to ruin everything, and I can't forgive that or rationalize that. Relevant comments. Extension Accident 47 says, it's nice to read that someone didn't automatically cheat and cared about what happened with their marriage, right? I've read too many cheating stories on here and have become too cynical. Opie and her husband handled it maturely. Medical Solid says, a good husband. Couldn't Be Macy says, being Delulu is not the Solulu. I've been distraught, I've been grieving, I've been heartbroken, but I've never tried to F my friend's husband. It's just like, truly, how can that be an accident? That is 100% intentional. And the fact that the ex was trying to get your husband to not tell you about it is another great point. Comfortable One 8520 says, I've had several friends whose husbands had affairs. In every case, it was the wife's best friend. Sure, she's your BFF and you're like sisters, yada, 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 but she also knows your weaknesses and all about any possible fractured lines in your marriage. I mean, I think it kind of solved itself. Honestly, OP, I think, is like super fair, level-headed, and did all the right things.
If you want more stories like this, search for our podcast, OK Storytime, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Woman in the comments said, this woman is not a good friend. She just went through what it feels like to be cheated on, and then she decides that she's going to try to make her best friend suffer. It doesn't make sense. Be your own kind. Another woman said, the friend's behavior has me wondering if her husband cheated on her or if she actually cheated on her husband. You never know. This woman is reckless.